Alrighty, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to kind of tell you and go over everything you should be running if you want to do better in the CDL rule set. This is stuff I use, so a lot of it is biased, but a lot of the setups I use on my MP5 and MP4, or M4, sorry, are stuff the pros are using, perks, stuff like that. So let's go ahead and get into it. Field of view, obviously I just keep it 90 or whatever. I think it's the default, so that really doesn't matter, but controller is the big thing. I play with the elite controller, so I use paddles. So if you don't have that, one of the things, I don't know if they have it anymore. Yeah, so in Black Ops 3 before I had an elite controller, I would use bumper jumpers so that I don't have to take my thumb off of the right stick so I can aim. Obviously it's a little bit weird to get used to, but it actually does work. I think the best thing to do with sensitivity is find something that works for you, something slow enough to where you're not missing shots at all, and something that makes it easier. Now I prefer the dynamic aim response curve. There's a whole video you can watch out there by Attach who goes into the different layouts. I prefer dynamic. I know a lot of the pros use dynamic. They either use standard dynamic. I personally go with dynamic if you have an easier time controlling a gun. So that's really it for settings. Obviously you can go in the audio. I do boost high, and then this is all personal preference. It's just whatever you want. So let's get into what I am running in my loadouts. First off, you should be running dead silence all the time, no matter what, because the perks of this are super high. You can flank behind a team and, you know, clear out a hard point, you know, cap a B flag or whatever. You can clear that flag off. And obviously in search and destroy, this is huge. If somebody plants a bomb, let's say on gun runner at B, you can flank around and they won't be able to hear you, and you can get that first kill easily and then move on. So I think dead silence is something you should be using. If you want to use something else, I'd go with trophy system and stuff like hardpoint. And maybe in search, if you're planning a bomb, you don't want to get naded or stunned, you throw this down for you. So let's go ahead and get in the loadouts. I have a bunch of M4 classes, so we'll get into this. So this first one is something I don't use as often. It's my old setup. This is a good site or a good setup for Arklov Peak if you want. So stock M16 Grenader. Obviously the damage is higher, the bullet velocity and the recoil. This gun beams, and with the other barrel on my other classes I'll show you, it really doesn't make that big of a difference. It's a slow aim-in gun, so if you like to be pushing with an AR, I have a class for that in just a minute. The Cronin, I've always preferred the sight. I know a lot of people like the Operator. I just prefer the Cronin. No stock. That aim down sight speed and movement speed helps if you do have to push a player, especially on bomb and search. And a lot of these classes are built for search. That's my main game when I play, but all these will work on hardpoint and dom as well. Stifled, obviously aim down sight speed and sprint to fire speed, especially in game modes like hardpoint and you're constantly moving around the map. Aim down sight is important, but sprint to fire speed is way more important. Obviously being able to get those shots on quicker is something you'll always want to have. And then obviously the command to foregrip, it just does everything I need. It knocks down your movement speed, but when you're playing an AR role like in this, you're going to be posted up and you need to have that best recoil that you can have and recoil that you can control. Obviously a combat knife. I don't use pistols. I really don't care. I usually hit all my shots. I use perks, EOD, Ghost, Battle Harden, and then I have Specialist on. Personally, for the CDL playlist, I feel like the kill streak should not be in it because the pros the pros came to a gentleman's agreement and they're not using streaks. They all use specialists, and I personally think that's how the CDL playlist should go. So I don't use streaks, I use specialists. So I run obviously my first perks, EOD. That's just great for search and all of them, so if you get naded you have time to recoup and you're not a one shot from nades. Ghost, you can run point man. I just prefer Ghost, just in case. I don't know, there's no UAVs in it, but I guess this is the perk that I just default to. Battle Harden, even though it doesn't work completely, the reduced time from a flash and stun is huge, and it does make a lot of big it makes a very big impact. If you're running into people who aren't using stuns a lot, you can run tune-up's great. This is going to get you your dead silence faster, your trophy system faster, and that's amazing. When I get 2 kills, I get double time, just be able to move around the map faster. With an AR, be able to get to those head glitches, being able to get into those head peaks and being able to hold down somewhere and then being able to move quickly and challenge somewhere else, that's always great. Tune up, obviously dead silence, especially in search, is huge. And then cold blooded, I think this is just something I default to. Obviously thermal, this doesn't work, so if you're going up against somebody who's running a thermal smoke combination, it's easier that way. Semtex, stun grenade, pretty standard stuff. My next loadout is something that I use for optimal recoil stabilization. So stock M16, same thing. The Cronin, the only thing that changed from the last setup is I run the M16 stock. This is for something, this is for a player who doesn't move a lot, like a pro player named Dens. You are sitting in a hard point, you do not want to move, you just want the best recoil. This is the best class setup for that. Obviously everything else is the same. Semtex, stun grenade. Now this is for people who want to run and gun with an M4. Obviously compensator, recoil control, that's the biggest thing for the M4. The Corvus, it does the same things as the M16 Grenader, shoots a little bit faster, and overall I prefer this barrel. I just feel like the gun feels better with this. I'm not running an optic, I feel like the optics are fine. No stock to get that optimal movement speed and that aim down sight speed to be even quicker. Same thing with Stippled, that aim down sight speed is insane. And Commando, again, I feel like it's probably the best grip for the M4 overall. A lot of people do use Merc for hip fire. I guess if you want to, it doesn't really matter to me. Or Ranger, actually, I know is a pretty good one too by people. I prefer the Commando foregrip. This is the class I run mainly on Gunrunner because I like to sit forest, but this class is very accurate and is allowing you to move around the map at a pace that you want, which is nice. Again, no pistol, same perks, same lethals and tacticals. Now this one's a little bit different. The compensator's taken off and I just put the Cronin back on there. This is only for if I'm having a hard time hitting shots, especially on maps like Gunrunner, where if you're sitting forest, you have to hit those shots on crates. So yeah, this is just the same thing, just with a optic on it. This class is just used just for fun. Obviously you can't use this in the CDL because the armory things aren't allowed, but I use this in private matches just to fuck around people. Same everything besides specialist. So MP5 is such a good gun on maps like Gunrunner, especially because controlling mid, if you're playing something like Hardpoint and even Search, if you can control mid and then playing on forest side, that's a huge difference. Obviously sitting green building or bathrooms or even going pipes, that's big. So with this is the exact same loadout the pros are running. You are running an FTAC collapsible stock. That movement speed and aim down sight speed is great. You're able to challenge corners easier. What I will say about this gun, if you are not able to control recoil very well, you will have a hard time shooting the MP5. This is that typical running gun. If you're able to hit your shots, you will do great with it. Sleight of hand, the MP5 does have a slow reload. This helps it out a lot. The Stippled, obviously, again, aim down sight speed and sprint to fire speed. That is another big deal, being able to shoot first and get that first shot off. 10 mil because the damage is crazy, the range is crazy. And then the Commando foregrip, which should be the Merc. The Merc foregrip is amazing. That hip fire accuracy, when you're able to just shoot and you're not even ADS and hit that first shot, you're going to win the engagement 99% of the time. So that's pretty huge. Again, combat knife, all the perks are same. Grenades, I like frag grenades on certain maps like Gunrunner. Normally it's a Semtex and you go stun grenade. Obviously this is going to be Merc. Same thing, same setup as last time. The only difference is I run a smoke grenade on this class. The reason why I like smoke grenade is because, and actually this changes, I run double time and then EOD goes there. This class is for when I am trying to push an objective. The smokes really help if you're playing on a map called Arklov, okay, and you are on the right side near trench, which I'll show you when we hop in the map. There's a play that you can do that can get people off guard and you can get a free kill most of the time, but smokes help if you're planning bomb. I use this class if I'm playing on Piccadilly because I'm usually the bomb planter, so I'll throw a smoke, plant the bomb, and I get out of there. So this class is really helpful. If you notice you're getting hit from crosses a lot, especially on a map like Piccadilly, like if you're trying to cross and you're trying to go from A to B bomb, you're going through mid, throwing smoke down is always going to help. People are hesitant to shoot, and people are not likely to run into the smoke because they don't know where you are. So it's very helpful. This is my main sniper class. Muzzle brake just for recoil. You can put anything on this. I know a lot of people put compensator. Doesn't really matter to me. They do the same thing. I run the 32-inch barrel, the damage, the bullet velocity, recoil. A lot of people don't like the AX50 because it hit markers. This prevents me from getting a hit marker, which is very nice. I guess you can go Singard. I just prefer this. Movement speed doesn't really hurt me at all, just because if you're sniping, you're going to be sitting back and you're holding down spots and lanes anyways. I run the Singard Arms Marksman stock. Doesn't really matter. You can go, if you want a quicker aiming sniper, you can go with this. Aim, walking, moving speed, I don't care for, because why are you aiming down sights with your gun and challenging corners like that? I don't prefer that. With a sniper, you should be sitting one place, moving slowly and hitting those shots, especially on a map like Arquab where you're going trench. You don't need this. It's not helping you at all. I run Presence of Mind, so obviously that extended hold of breath is great. Granulated grip tape, the aim stability is once again another perk, and that's about it for this class. Again, I'm running the M19. I go with the lightweight barrel, aim down sight speed. With this, I want you guys to know the pistols are kind of a secondary thing for me. Like, I want to be able to hit, like, this is for if I get a hit marker on a guy and I need 1 to 2 bullets. That's kind of how I built this. And if I do run a pistol for like my M4, this is the class I still go with, because I'm trying to just hit 1 to 2 shots with it. So lightweight trigger, obviously it helps the fire rate. The stippled, aim down sight and sprint to fire. Sleight of hand so I can reload if I have to. And normal frag, flash grenade, and then obviously specialist again. Now, this class is very interesting. I've used this very little, but I've noticed it works. This is the HDR. So I like the 26-inch barrel. Sorry, 26.9-inch barrel. You can really go with whatever you want. If you want to go with the bullet, obviously it hurts the bullet velocity. I like this. The damage range, even though the HDR already one shots, it's just going to help it the bullet move faster, which is nice, and that helps that recoil. So if you have to get another shot on target quicker, it's easier for you. Thermal sight. Obviously, I'm running smokes on this class. You are able to hold down lanes with a smoke and this gun. If you're playing on Piccadilly, you need to aim down mid. If you're worrying about another sniper, well, the other sniper, if they're not running thermal, can't see you, and you'll be able to see them and get that pick, and you'll be able to see people crossing. If you're also playing on Piccadilly and you're watching over A-bomb, you could throw a smoke down, or if they throw a smoke down, you can see into it and hopefully get that pick as well. So this is a very good class if you're using in the right situations. The F-Tech champion I use just for aim stability, and then focus again, the increase. Ooh, is this what? No, presence of mind. Sorry, presence of mind. Obviously, the extended hold breath, and same M19, same perks, Semtex this time, and smoke grenade, like I said. And then this class is just what I use randomly. This is an AR that's built like an SMG. I just went all aim down sight speed with this, and recoil and sleight of hand. So that's all I'm going with. I just wanted this to be fast. I'm able to challenge corners. That already has good damage. It has good range. I like the iron sights. It's great.